news from around the galaxy. It's time for the Big Sci-Fi Podcast. It's time to turn up the volume. Woo! Set the dial to fun. Reaching warp speed. Adina, Brian, Chris, and Steve. The biggest sci-fi podcast in the galaxy. It's time for the Big Sci-Fi Podcast.
In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
That, my friends, were the stirring words of inspiration from President Whitmore for one of my favorite movies of, and I don't say this lightly, of all time. And it was 30 years ago, this past July 4th, and the year was 1996, and I took my oldest daughter, Stephanie, at 9:30 a.m. that day to see Independence Day. Now, I had seen previews and watched all the commercials for it, even a 30-minute special show on Fox about the film. And it seemed like the producers of the film wanted to get the word out about it, and it really piqued my interest, and I was not disappointed. When the movie ended and Stephanie and I walked out of the theater, I knew I had seen an amazing film. So here we are, as I said, 30 years later, and I have tried, not always, but I've tried to watch this movie on every July 4th. First, I watched it on a VHS tape, and then on a DVD as well. Now, I still have both, and I still watch it on the 4th, as I did this past year, a few months ago, but now only on, of course, the DVD. So, let me and my fellow members of the Big Sci-Fi Podcast, Adina, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Chris.
Hello.
And Brian.
Hey, everybody.
Are here to discuss this movie and how it means to them, and well, as it means to me, your humble host, Steve. So, hitting off with the usual question, since this is a 30-year-old movie, when was the first time you saw it? You already know when I did. So when was it your first time?
I saw it in the theater when it came out. I was in college, and yeah, that was back at the time when, any major film I pretty much saw when it came out. Yeah.
I saw it not on VHS. I was very late to the game, saw it on DVD. I think remember the actual red boxes that used to be out?
Oh my gosh.
I remember Redbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were fun
I saw it
for a minute.
Yeah, they were. Occasionally, I will see one still around town. They're not as popular as they were before in this area of Ohio, but my goodness, remember the mail-in ones too?
That was
Netflix.
Was that Redbox too, or was that Netflix?
No, it's Netflix.
That's where Netflix started, and their envelopes were red.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, memory lane.
And it wasn't too much longer after 1996. It was like in the 1998-ish time frame that Netflix started.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was very late to the game to see this show, but I've seen it probably 10 times since. So,
Chris, what about yourself?
I think probably 2007 for me on some DVD that my buddy Kale had.
Okay.
And I've watched it way more than 10 times. It's like Steve, this is one of my
Wow.
favorite movies of all time. I just love so much about it. And I did not watch it this July 4th, but I did watch it on maybe on June 14th or I remember like I was watching it, especially the morning that I flew out for Trek Long Island, and I had been watching it on and off for the past couple of days at that point. But yeah, I love it. There's just so much I love about the movie, which we'll get into.
Yeah. And since I watched it just this July 4th, I think, Adina, you said, when was the last time you watched this movie?
Well, so it had been a while. So I started watching it last night and I finished 5 minutes before we started recording.
Then it should be very fresh in your mind.
It is very fresh in my mind. Yes.
So I was going to say, let's guess how many times we've seen it, but Chris and me, I can't even guess. I couldn't even guess how many times I've watched it.
I will tell you, I remember my good friend Abel, one of my groomsmen. I was his roommate in our second year of university. And sometimes he would come in and he'd be like, "Are you watching Independence Day again?" Granted, some of those times might have also been The Day After Tomorrow, but Independence Day, I don't even want to say how many times or even guess. Just a lot.
It was interesting because I took, as I said, my older daughter Stephanie to go see it, and at that time, Steph was 13, and my youngest daughter Jenny, who was 5 years younger, she was 8. She did not want to go see the movie because there were monsters in it, and she did not like movies with monsters. But we finally convinced her to go see the movie. She sat on my lap for the entire film. And when the aliens appeared, whoop, the hands went right over her eyes. So she wouldn't be scared of the monsters.
Yeah, they were creepy. They were a little creepy.
Yeah, really, I didn't find them too creepy except for when they grabbed Brent Spiner. Who of course, okay, so I'm going to go into the Star Trek bit. Like,
Yeah.
that to me, when I'm sitting there in 1996, I did not know he was in it. So to be sitting there and all of a sudden see him was just, that was a treat. And then unfortunately he got killed and in a creepy kind of, way. So that to me was like the only time that the aliens were like,
I've got a weird memory of Brent Spiner being in this movie. I don't know if you guys ever watch QVC.
Not in a long time.
They would run. It was either QVC or the Home Shopping Channel would run Star Trek specials where they would sell Star Trek paraphernalia.
What?
And oftentimes they would have an actor. I remember one in particular with Jonathan Frakes. They would have actors like that on selling and talking to people who would call in and selling Star Trek paraphernalia. No kidding.
I did not know this.
I remember one was when Star Trek Generations came out, when First Contact came out. And I remember them talking about Independence Day and Brent Spiner's role in it and how they felt like he kind of stole the show. Like the scenes he were in, he was definitely who people were watching. And it was such a delightful cameo in that film. But that's my weird memory, QVC or Home Shopping Network. And
I feel like I missed out, although probably my credit card is thankful. Because that could have been a very dangerous thing.
Can I make you feel better, Adina?
Sure.
You said that you watched it and you felt so bad when Dr. Orkin died.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He's alive and well.
He appears in Independence Day Resurrection. They came out 20 years later.
Okay, well, now I have a reason to watch that movie because I didn't watch it.
It's interesting. I mean, I didn't love it when I saw it, and I started rewatching it about a year ago and haven't gotten back to it. So I should get back to it and just give it a proper rewatch. But
I've never watched it.
It wasn't the best.
I never saw it.
Yeah, good. As Chris said, it's not what I thought I was going to get 20 years later because I loved the movie so much and hope to see it again and see what they're going to do. I always thought that if they were going to make a sequel to it, it should have been like came out right after. They should have started production and made it like ID5 and what happened the day afterwards. What happened with any aliens that survived and how we rebuilt and like that little continuation of the story. But I think what happened was that Will Smith became way too expensive for them to bring him back.
That would make sense.
That was an expensive movie all the way around.
Yeah.
I remember seeing TV specials about the special effects, how they blew up the buildings from top to bottom, shooting the I remember specials all over TV around this movie. Yeah. And that doesn't happen for very many movies. Like, I mean, even back then, I think it happened a lot more than it does now, the big movies.
Yeah.
But I just think I remember that being quite the hey, nice big sci-fi mug you just drink out of there.
Hey,
my friend
big sci-fi mug for drinking. Always.
So that whole phenomenon of like there being like an event on TV, like especially behind, like, yeah, I absolutely remember like during the 80s as a kid in the 80s, this was I feel like a big part of my childhood, which I tried to explain to my kids, especially one day we were listening to Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, when the video came out, there was like this huge special, like this huge, like behind the scenes making of the video. And it was like a huge thing that everyone watched. Like all at once. There were like several things like that. Like, I remember we talked about this when we interviewed Dave Barclay, the puppeteer from Star Wars. And yeah, we talked about this. I remember the special that he was in. I mean, I didn't remember him being in the special, but I remember the behind the scenes special when that came out, and I was like 8. Came out, around the time that Return of the Jedi came out. But that whole concept is like gone, which is just sad.
I feel like the closest that I remember this happening in modern times was when Star Wars came back with Force Awakens, and they were making a big deal about it being practical effects. But I don't remember if there was ever a special on like, here are the effects that we're doing, and here's how we're doing everything. But there was a push like, hey, we're using practical models. We're not doing CGI. We're doing all this practical stuff. It's going to be great. Yeah, but I don't remember anything specific about how they were doing it. Yeah,
it's not the fact that they're explaining the effects. That's not the part. It's the collective experience of everyone kind of watching the same thing at the same time, which you got back when we had network TV only. Okay, yes, there were cable channels, but it wasn't guaranteed that everyone had cable. We didn't have cable for a very long time, so pretty much everyone got broadcast TV, and so then you had these collective experiences that you don't get.
Yeah.
These days.
And it was like our friend Nicholas Meyer recently told us, like he did that made for TV movie, but there were only a few channels on broadcast television, antenna television. And so the audience was actually quite large compared to what it might be today, when now even in antenna television, you can have 100 channels just off antenna. And let alone what you're streaming, or if you have cable or satellite or whatever. So
you don't have the collective experience
the
like
event,
you used to.
Yeah. And that was a big deal, because I remember when the 30-minute special was on Fox to promote it, and it came on more like a news show. And even George Putnam, who is in the film, and he was a famous West Coast newsman for, I think it was Channel 11. And, he comes on and you're like, they're making it seem like this is, a big deal, and it was exciting. And that's really what got me like to want to go into the theater and see this movie. And I thought, I got to do it on July 4th, because that's the movie. And that's part of the whole collective experience. And again, I got the 9:30 showing because that was the only tickets available I could find decent to get it, to go see it with my daughter.
I tell you, that whole, even Harrison Ford recently has said, like, we are missing out on that collective community of going to see movies together that used to exist in our country. And a lot of that has to do with streaming and just everything at our
so many
fingertips.
choices.
Yeah.
So many choices.
Yeah. And so I remember with this film in particular, to bring this back around to Independence Day, like, I remember everybody talking about, have you seen this film? Are you going to see this film. This was not just a big film, it was a huge blockbuster. It skyrocketed Will Smith. I mean, he was already doing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, very popular, but this skyrocketed his movie career like none other. I mean, this film points to him becoming A-list material in Hollywood.
And like a big sci-fi action hero star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's interesting because there's always that one movie that makes your career and sets off. He became an action star, a comedian. You know, he broadened his whole career. Yeah. You looked like Bruce Willis did from Die Hard.
Right,
Up until that, everyone thought of him as a comedic actor from Moonlighting, and they said he can't be an action star. Whoa, what did he become? An action star.
Yep.
And that's, I think, what promoted, and even, you look at the whole group of actors that were in this film, and they were all really, this movie, well, Judd Hirsch was already a star from television, but, really it made, go ahead.
I was going to say they all were star. I mean, like, you have Jeff Goldblum, who was certainly a star, and Mary McDonnell was a star. Although after this, a few years later, when she was in Battlestar Galactica, the redo of Battlestar Galactica, that to me is like my favorite role of hers ever. Randy Quaid was like well known.
Yeah, he was very well known.
Now the one, and again, I had this issue when I was rewatching it yesterday and today. Bill Pullman. He is in. I can't get past Spaceballs.
Really? Okay.
Seriously, to me, he comes across as Lone Star. Anytime I see him, I can't. Especially in that, and especially again, I haven't seen like a ton of his stuff. Okay, but especially in this. I'm like that is a weird version of Lone Star. That's what I was thinking this whole time.
Really? I don't know. I watched Spaceballs so many times and I grew up with that, but I just like, even though I'm like, it's the guy from Spaceballs, to me he's so different in this role because he's thoughtful, he kind of embodies everything that you want in a president, and at least that's what I imagine. He's thoughtful, he listens to everybody's opinion. He has a great pump-up speech. We're going to do this.
Oh, it's one of the great
so I don't know. I didn't see.
But he has this smirk. I don't know. There's something about the way he looks. He has this smirk that is. But I agree. He is everything I'd want in a president, like especially in a crisis, and everything. Yeah. I liked the character a lot, but he's got some smirk or some look about him.
I'll be darned.
It's right at the end of the movie. It's right at the end of the movie. I remember this.
When I watched it in 1996, and it's still true.
Yeah.
3 out of 4 big sci-fi podcasts disagree with you, Adina.
That's okay. I'm okay to be in the minority.
It's a fair point, though.
Adina, at the very end of the movie, when he goes up to David, he goes, "Not bad, David. Not bad at all." Like, you.
I see. Okay, I can see it there.
There was that smirk that is.
But the whole time, I feel like the whole time he had, like a lot of the time, he had this kind of look that
I kind of. Yeah, I feel you, Dina, 100%.
It's the attitude. It's his attitude.
It's the attitude.
The movies that I remember seeing him in, I think, like, basically you're getting whatever part of his personality he's putting out there for us as moviegoers to see. I feel like he's one of those actors you basically get, and he's a solid actor. And he's a solid. He's had lasting appeal. He's been in a ton of stuff, but I think you kind of get him in the same category with other actors. You're getting their personality when you hire him to be in your movie or television show.
Jason Bateman might be a good example, where he's an incredible actor. He can do comedy, he can do drama and crime thrillers like Ozark, but he's still basically playing Jason Bateman with slightly different lines. So I feel like he's the same person, but he's a good actor in a way that maybe Jeff Goldblum is different, that everybody expects him to be Jeff Goldblum, but he's so iconic in the way that he speaks.
Yeah, man.
That you want Jeff Goldblum to do Jeff Goldblum in a different way than Jason Bateman doing Jason Bateman.
And Jeff Goldblum is Jeff Goldblum because There was a day he came to Children's Hospital to read for the kids, and I was there, and he did his Jeff Goldblum analysis and slow speaking, and it took him like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to read a children's book because he kept interjecting his Jeff Goldblum kind of style.
Yeah. I love that.
It was really a treat.
This is how I really like Patrick Stewart. You know, when I look at an actor like him, when I look at Professor Charles Xavier and when I look at Captain Picard, I see two completely different people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, and that to me is amazing when
I
like
just
there are
saw a
actors that
preview
can do
for
that.
the newest X-Men
I'm
and
so
Marvel
excited.
film, and Stewart's in it.
Doomsday. Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
can't wait.
Yes.
I'm too excited.
But
Well,
that's what I mean is like again, and it's not a knock on Bill Pullman. And again, the fact that he's in so much stuff, obviously, and yes, he's I'm happy to watch him. But yeah, I get Bill Pullman, and that's fine, and that's great that he's, you know, been in so much stuff. But to me, there's like the fact that I can look at someone like Patrick Stewart and I see different, like I do not like Charles Xavier and Captain Picard are so different.
Yeah, yeah. But then
That
you
is
look at
amazing.
someone like Bill Paxton, who was in Aliens and who was in Terminator and
Apollo
who was
13.
in True Lies. And he's always Bill Paxton. He's always that kind of a weaselly guy. And that's his character. That's who he is. And it comes through all the time. Just like our dear friend John Billingsley. It's always John Billingsley, no matter what role he plays.
I don't think so.
No,
Some
I
of
don't
the
think
crazy
I agree.
criminal people.
That's how I feel.
I don't see that.
No, because
3 out
no,
of 4 of the
no. So so when he's Dr. Phlox in Enterprise, like that's John Billings, like that is the closest, and he even talked about this as the closest personality. But then you see him play some of these really disturbing criminals.
Yeah.
That is not Dr. Phlox.
I've seen him. I've seen him on even he was on Suits. He played a reoccurring role on Suits. He was different.
Yep.
And I just saw him in a film. I'm only halfway through it. It's called The Shift. It's got Michael McDonough, I think, is in it. Is one of the leads in it. It's on Angel Network. But he plays. It's kind of a weird utopia thing or dystopian future thing, and he's totally. I've never seen him like this in this.
Interesting.
So
The Shift. I want to listen to that.
All
But
right.
like I saw him in there was this AMC drama called Washington Spy Turn. It's a Washington Spies.
Oh, he's in that. Oh, my
He's got a recurring role in that too. He's in a few episodes. And so the thing is, but he's also been in a few things that are like period dramas that are like between the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. And though it's almost like he's got like buckets of characters. It's like he's got the bucket of the like Revolutionary War to Civil War, you know, Days of Yore. You know, he's got the like he plays murderers, you know, crazy murderers.
Right.
Yeah, like that's the thing. There's different buckets, but there's clearly, like I said, huge difference between like Dr. Phlox and any of those characters. Huge difference.
I hate to ask this question, but can we get back to talking about Independence Day?
I just say the word. You know, I want to do it. I want to throw out all the quotes.
So first off, I ask this question. Is this movie a drama? Is it a comedy? Is it a love story? Is it a horror film? Is it a sci-fi film? Is it an action film? Or is it all of the above?
No, it's not a horror film. I wouldn't call it.
Not horror. I don't.
What
think.
about the creepy alien?
For 2 minutes.
Is
creepy for a minute.
But I wouldn't say it's a horror movie because of it. Even though it does have some moments where I'm like, okay, that could be legit horror, but it doesn't go. It's like maybe a minute of it. But I would say it's a pretty compelling love story, and I feel like that's a Roland Emmerich trait. That when you have a disaster movie, you have to have some romantic relationship that, you know, at least one of them was fractured, and then they use this event to hopefully unfracture it and kind of repair that damage. So there's a love story element, but I guess I'd say sci-fi action drama is probably what it is.
With a little comic relief thrown in from Judd Hirsch.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, it's just like There's all kinds of sci-fi out there that has the humor thrown into it. It doesn't mean
Yeah,
you
it
have to
doesn't
call
make
it
it
a
a comedy.
comedy.
Yeah.
It's just fun humor thrown into it. But
So then you
it's
could probably
definitely, I
say it's
think,
more like all of the above of what I just mentioned.
No,
It has it's on all those little aspects.
no, it's a sci-fi action film.
Okay.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the fact that there's like a couple like comedic elements that doesn't turn it into a comedy.
Not like a flat out full on
Yeah,
comedy,
but it just-
it
you could-
is
yeah.
very funny. But
Okay.
it's because like a lot of action movies have, we got to have the comedic moments. We got to have
Yeah.
something to lighten the mood.
So I think this film has something to offer everybody. And like even with the characters, there's all sorts of stuff that people can grab onto and love. Like my kids, as I recently showed this to my kids and my family on one of our Friday night movie nights, they loved the family dog. They were cheering for the dog. You know,
Great.
and so I think it's got the action. It does have some comedy in it, but I think if we're talking genre, I think Chris is right along those lines there.
And do you feel like when they wrote the script, they looked at other science fiction films and took aspects from it? Definitely from War of the Worlds.
Oh yeah,
alien
it's all the
invasion.
new stuff.
But when the alien craft is coming to Area 51, that had a very Star Wars New Hope at the end, where the Death Star is coming in, and they've got 30 minutes to be able to,
Oh,
defeat
you're talking
it.
about when they detonate the bomb, or when they're
No,
in
when-
the ship? Oh,
when they go, they really knows who they are, where we are. They're coming now. They'll be here in 30 minutes. We've got to evacuate the surface and get everybody downstairs because they'll be protected. And that same kind of
I
tension.
think it's hard. Yeah, I think it's hard to. I mean, we don't know. Like, were the writers really thinking about all those things, or were they just trying to write a blockbuster and write an interesting story, which is probably the case. Maybe they're probably fans of a lot of those things, and so there's definitely influences. And I think also, like, is there really anything new under the sun? I mean, it's just variations and interesting takes on when you get into alien invasion. If that's going to be your main storyline, everyone's going to say, well, that harkens back to War of the Worlds because it was the original, right?
Yeah,
Or one of the
exactly,
original.
exactly.
They're going to harken back to Star Wars if you talk about a countdown or a devastating thing coming to a planet to destroy it. You know what I mean? Like, I just think those are inevitable comparisons. But what makes this movie stand out, not just the incredible special effects for the time, and some of them hold up. Some of them, as I watched it probably 6 months ago now, I was like, oh, that. I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't look as good as the stuff they're doing now.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
This is
sure.
30 years ago.
Right. This is incredible when you said that, Steve. I'm like, what? How old am I, for crying out loud?
30 years ago.
But I think what really, for me, makes this movie shine, and when I watched it again, it was just the characters are fun. You care about what's happening. You become emotionally involved. Like the writers did a good job of bringing you on this journey through the film. And I remember hearing that theaters were cheering during this climactic battle, and that's a rare thing in theaters to have people cheering. You heard that it happened in Rocky. And there's other films that have that distinction too, of course. But this is one of those. I remember news reports about people cheering, and how patriotic this film made people feel too.
Yeah, and I think what's so great about the characters and what I love about Roland Emmerich when he's firing on all cylinders, because we saw Moonfall and he was not making Independence Day. But when he is firing on all cylinders, what he does really well, especially with Independence Day, is you have all the different main characters all on their own separate journeys, but they all meet up, and everything they do in the movie contributes to what they're like, contributes to how they contribute to the solution. So like it makes sense that, we see Will Smith and he's a fighter pilot. He's seen how like we've seen that he's really good. We've seen that okay, he did fight the alien, so he knows how to pilot the ship. And of course, David is integrated very well in that. Okay, he's a genius, but he works at a cable company. He found the signal, and so they're all coming together to contribute to doing the thing they need to do. And I love that when you have all the characters, none of them feel wasted because they're all contributing. And I don't think all movies can do that if you have such a large cast that everybody feels like, oh, that's why they're in the movie, and that's because they contributed to the solution and they, helped solve the problem. So I think that for me is my favorite aspect about the movie.
Yeah. And I'm going to say that this is something very similar because it is the characters that make this movie very interesting. Because if you take away the fact that, yes, we care about the characters, that they made us care about the characters, the movie is hokey beyond belief.
Oh gosh,
it is. Yeah.
Yes,
Because
it is.
everything is just so convenient. The fact that the fact that this alien ship did exist, and the fact that it did start working, and the fact that Will Smith was able to pilot it, and they were able to instantly connect to the set of virus. Like all those things are just, it's kind of stupid that all worked so perfectly.
Yes.
And so the only reason the movie works is the fact that we care about the characters. Because like what you're doing is you're ignoring all this like silliness.
Yeah.
But it's all fun silliness. I love it. Like even in Stargate, they make reference to it when the Gould are attacking Earth, and Daniel Jackson is like, "Oh yeah, why don't we just send up a computer virus and destroy it?" And it's like, so I love the fact that the people reference it, and it's stupid, but it's so good and it fits the vibe. And I love, for me, I love the cheesiness. And I guess you're right with the characters. It makes it more. You can accept it more because you like the characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. They did a great job of getting you to care about the characters, which that's hard. That is really hard to do. And they did that for like, you care about like all the characters.
Yeah. Even Boomer the dog, like you're in for Boomer to come Boomer. She's yelling and he comes rushing in, and of course they survive, an inferno in a tunnel. And they come out, and they're the only ones, and they find the keys for the truck, and the truck works.
Right.
The truck works
find
perfectly.
the president's wife. Of all the places where she crashes there. And so, yes, you're right. It's a whole bunch of coincidences that come together. But that's okay, because that's that. Like we can just accept that these are all going to occur.
Steve, let me say this real quick, Christian. Because you talked about that tunnel scene with the dog. My daughter said to me when the dog came out of that, she said, "Dad, if that dog would have died in this movie, I would have walked over there and slapped you right in the face." What kind of movie are you showing us? That dog better live through this whole thing.
Did you let her know that this was not Old Yeller? Okay, this was not.
Dill says the same kind of thing to me all the time. Like I still feel very badly that when we were watching Armageddon, I was like, "Oh yeah, no one dies," completely forgetting that half the people die. She is not forgiving me for that. So yes, I could see my wife doing exactly the same thing if that dog had died.
That's
so now
cute
the
about
thing
your
though,
daughter.
I am kind of surprised, and I'm trying to parse this. Like, why did they choose to let Mary McDonnell's character, the first lady, die? And that was weird too, because so she's dying from internal bleeding, yet she's in that last scene with the president. She's like so lucid. She doesn't look like someone who's near death. So I'm like, come on. Like,
that part was weird because I feel like, especially in those kinds of movies, if you're going to kill someone, why not just kill them right away? Why have them be alive and then get rescued and then taken to medical help only for them to die?
So that
she
you
could
can
have
have
just
the
lived.
so you can have the president go out to his
preferred
daughter, and she says, "Is mommy sleeping?" Yeah, mommy's sleeping.
I didn't like that. Like, she should have just let her live, because that would have been fine. It wouldn't have changed anything else about the movie.
You're absolutely right.
It seems like I don't know. It just seems like maybe there's got to be one sacrifice of a main character or characters that we like, and they
I wonder
did
if
that.
it's the Leonard Nimoy clause. Like, this isn't. I'm not sure this is going to be successful. I want you to kill me off, so there's no chance to bring my character.
The other thing there too is then it makes a few things weird after, because one, like that trauma of losing the mother and wife, but also, so when he goes to decides to fly,
Mm-hmm.
so he's potentially willing to orphan his daughter. Where if the
Okay.
mom survived, then you don't have that issue.
But it was okay for Randy Quaid's character to die saving everybody.
Different
Yes.
because
Yeah, it was
he's got
okay.
his kids are older to include his oldest. I think is over. I think they're implying he's over 18. The oldest is like taking care of the younger kids.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Randy, it's okay for his character to do it because his kids are older and he's basically got someone to look after the two younger kids.
And he's redeeming his character.
Yeah,
he's
redeeming
You know,
himself.
it's not so the kids are proud of him. They're
Yes.
willing to let the sacrifice because they're so proud of dad for
Yes.
stepping up when it counts. And,
So he can
But
say
now-
the line,
which I
"Tell
love
my
that part of
children
it. Again,
I love them."
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, like I love that whole
Yeah.
storyline of
Mhm.
Randy Quaid's character and his kids and them. You know, that was
Yeah.
great.
So is there a specific scene or dialogue that you like always go like, I look forward to that, seeing it when you watch the movie again?
There is too many. For me, there's just so many. Like, if we're not talking about dialogue, I just love the slow buildup at the beginning when it's like, okay, well, you know, we're getting some weird signals. You know, we just got a call from SETI, and they're even more confused. And I just love all that stuff when they're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on, and they're slowly seeing that, oh, these things are coming to Earth. So I love that stuff. I always love a slow buildup of whatever the crisis is in a movie, and I think this does it exceptionally well. There's so many lines. I want to go to why can't I think of his name? He's Will Smith's friend, who's another pilot.
Oh,
and it's like they have
that
this
was the
line like,
singer.
light the fire,
Harry
start the
Connick Jr.
tires.
Harry
Or
Connick
what's
Jr.
the line? Do it.
You got to kiss the booty. You got to get down there, and you
Right.
got to, that whole
But
thing.
there's the part where he's like, "All right, Big Daddy, let's light the fire, start the tires," or something like that.
Yes,
and I just
exactly.
I love that every
or
time.
as the great Reverend
Reverend
said.
used to say, "Quiet, are we on this night?"
Yes, exactly.
I watched this film for one scene,
Okay.
and it's the Bill Pullman presidential speech.
Yeah.
Like that, guys. The last time I watched this, I teared up. I couldn't help it. My family's looking at me, mocking me, laughing, snickering. I'm like, this is so beautiful. Like, you guys don't even understand. It's so beautiful. It's so patriotic. And, you know, this president that nobody had confidence in, not sure if he could rise to the occasion, is the president we needed, right? I think you kind of said that, Adina. You know, like he's there's something along those lines. Like this is, he responds in the way we would want a president to respond, you know,
to lead
stuff
from
like this.
example and to be the first one.
Yeah,
To be the, just I'm with you. I'm part of you. I'm not.
Which
gonna
harkens
sit
back to, I don't know about you guys, but my son has shown an incredible interest in Revolutionary War stuff. We just watched a film called Young Washington, and we're watching a documentary on Netflix that is fascinating and extremely well done called Washington. And to think about, you know, I mean, it was how it used to be. Leaders went to war. And they actually fought, and they were actually on the front lines sometimes, you know, if not always. And
not just
they
that,
were
but
there, and that just doesn't happen anymore. So I think this felt for us Americans super brave and patriot. You know, like it harkened back to a time where
if you go back to World War II, so many baseball players, so many actors actually joined the fray and were in combat. And were not afraid. You know, they knew that they're risking their career and risking their lives, but they are going to lead from example. And
for
I
some
think
reason, Steve, you'll appreciate, and Adina and Chris will too, but especially you, Steve. For some reason, I think there's a film coming out about Jimmy Stewart's life that focuses on his military experience.
Oh, interesting.
I think that I'm a big Jimmy Stewart fan. His biography is absolutely unbelievable.
He was a B-17 pilot, like a certain other guy we like, Gene Roddenberry. They were in the middle of it. And you look at the great the great pitcher for the Red Sox, Ted Williams, he not only was a fighter pilot in World War II, he played baseball after the war, then went back and fought in the Korean War as a jet pilot. So that's the kind of thing you want to see.
And what's the craziest thing about that speech? I just found this out because it was on the podcast with Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner. Yeah. And the writer was there. I got to look up his name.
Are
and
you
he was saying
another podcast while on this pod? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
it's totally
don't
cool.
worry.
Go ahead.
It's like you have another wife. What's going on here, Chris?
What?
Oh, wow. Now you're starting rumors. But basically, he was saying that speech was a filler speech, and he's like, okay, this is just a rough speech. I'm gonna come up with something later. Don't worry, just leave it. We'll come back to it. And then he found out the day that they were shooting it. He's like, oh, I completely forgot about that. I forgot to write the speech. And so he's running down to go and tell them not to do it. They're going to come up with something else. And then Bill Pullman was doing the speech, and everybody was so hyped for it. They're like, okay, we'll just keep it in because that's the speech.
That's really interesting. Wow. Medina, is there a scene that just makes you smile or you?
No, I liked this movie. I don't think I am as over the moon with it as y'all are.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I'm over the moon with it.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Okay, well, as Chris and Steve are
2 out of 4
We're the two
sci-fi
independent
podcasts. Guys are.
We'll get
over
to the rating
moon
system
with.
shortly.
Yeah.
Okay, but good.
But the point being is because I am not that over the moon with it. No, I don't have a particular.
Not even when Brett Spiner goes, you want to see him? This is what we call the
I get it.
the
Was all
freak
it was all,
show.
Sure.
You know
great.
another good scene? I could
Yes.
just keep listing good scenes, but what a moment of vindication when is it Judge Hirsch? Judge Hirsch
Yes.
is like, well, you had the ship, you knew about this, and they're like, no, we didn't have the ship. There was no Area 51.
Yes, that
And then
actually
when
might be my
the
favorite scene.
Other guy's like,
okay.
actually, Mr. President, that's not entirely
You had them
accurate.
in the room. You put them aside. You had them in the place with the Area 50.
Area 51. Area 51.
That whole thing. Yeah. For me, my favorites. There's tremendous favorite scenes, but I love it when they launch the alien ship with Will Smith at the controls, and he leaves the Earth's atmosphere, and he gets to do what he always wanted to do, which was to be an astronaut, to fly in space. And it's just so, except of course the whole joke about, the controls being in the wrong direction. Somebody made that mistake.
Oopsie.
But that whole sequence and then, the whole thing about, oops. We got to work on our communication. Yeah. There are all these great little lines and scenes and stuff. And that's what makes this movie, to me, as you'll agree, Chris, so watchable again and again, because you look forward to hearing them. You get forward to seeing them. And that's what I think the magic of this movie. And that's why it's endearing.
And I think Jeff Goldblum with his dad, just with Judge Hirsch, is just so good. Like all of his scenes and them kind of bickering when they're driving. He's like, what are you doing? What are you slowing down for? No one's cutting you off. No one's cutting you off. It's just so great.
These people, the mice, they're like vultures. They take.
Yeah. No, it was well cast. It was definitely well cast. And again,
very well cast.
Right. You cared about the characters, and it was very cool. Like I think Judd Hirsch as Jeff Goldblum's dad, that worked so super well.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
yes, and that's the thing is, and so you wind up caring about the character. So
I personally think Jeff Goldblum and Judge Hirsch, in my opinion, they steal this movie.
Yes,
I think Will Smith is definitely the star of this film, no doubt. It was his vehicle to become a star in. But I really feel like Jeff Goldblum and Judge Hirsch, like their father-son character. That's why I watched this movie, for them and for that presidential speach.
The other one,
and
that
I like.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead, Chris. Chris.
What's her name? I can't think of her name. Not the press secretary, but like David's former ex-wife.
Yeah, that's Margaret Colin. I was looking at
this. I love her in this, and I just like them rebuilding it. And I love the fact that it's like they never really had a bad marriage. It's just that she didn't feel like he was ambitious enough. And I kind of like that. It's refreshing to see a married couple on TV, or like ex-married, especially compared to my parents. My parents' divorce was not like that. There was a lot of fighting. So for me, I felt like, I kind of like that there was no hate. It was just, hey, you're not super ambitious.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
I have a problem. I actually have a
That's
big
weird.
problem with that.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Yes. Because there is this false stereotype that women, especially ambitious women, need their men to also be ambitious. I have had this issue dating where
Oh, fair
I've
enough.
dated some buddies who was not ambitious and they had a complex over that and was like, well, thought that I needed them to be more ambitious, which I did not. So, and this is a thing. I'm not alone. There are a lot of people. So I don't like that they were promoting that stereotype because I think it comes off as a negative stereotype. It is a
Fair
negative
enough.
thing.
I was looking at it from someone who has seen a marriage fall apart and see it fall apart bad to be like, okay, I liked how this dissolved. It wasn't a great, like, there was animosity. They didn't, there were still feelings, but
didn't
they
hate
treated
each
each other
other.
really well. Yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
I
and
liked
I will-
that
yeah.
aspect, I should say. And then I also like David's line of, I was a part of something special when it's like talking about his marriage, that he was doing something.
Yeah.
But
But
then
it
there's
also is
like,
weird that like 3 years after they've been divorced, he's still wearing their wedding ring. That is weird. That's
right.
very weird.
But that was a touching moment, especially in the wedding scene where he starts to twirl his ring, and I do that myself. And he looks over at her and he realizes, whatever it was, we're past it.
Well,
And we can come
he
back
always
together.
wanted to be past. Again, obviously from the beginning of the film, he always wanted to be past it. I think what they should have done is make the divorce like 6 months in the past, not 3 years in the past. Because, like I said, wearing a wedding ring 3 years after your divorce, that is weird. That is
See, I took
weird.
it as just that he was just having a really difficult time, and that's why his dad had to be like, "Hey, you gotta take off
but
the wedding
3
ring."
years
It's-
later,
Yeah.
that is
Maybe
a
his-
long time.
He could have been like me, where your fingers gotten so fat you can't take off your wedding ring ever. I mean,
If you're
ever.
divorced, you get it cut off.
Apply some butter and get it off.
No,
I mean,
I
If
could
you're
use.
divorced,
I know. I
you get
just
it cut
took
off.
it as this is how he's grieving, because he's grieving a loss essentially. So I took it, and everybody
3
grieves
years.
differently.
That's a
and I think
long time.
Yeah,
Long,
maybe.
yeah.
But
So I think what they should have done to make it more believable is like make it like 6 months in the past.
Maybe, yeah.
Because 6 months and he's still wearing the wedding ring and he's still like in that state.
Okay.
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Adina,
with you.
for you, it's 6 months. Okay, every time you watch
Okay,
the
6
movie,
months.
just say,
It's
in
6
your ego,
months.
la la la, 6 months, 6
The
months.
line,
Okay,
the new
I'm
line
fine.
is, you've been divorced, what, 8 months? And it's like, no, 6 months. Same difference.
Yes.
You need to take it
See,
off.
and that would have made way more
There
sense,
you
like
go.
been
There's
way
the
more
line.
realistic. And this is a detail that as, like 21-year-old May, 22-year-old May, when the movie came out, I didn't think about. But now 52-year-old me who's been divorced twice, and my parents are divorced too. I look at that and I'm like, 3 years wearing your wedding ring, something is wrong there. That's just not right. And again, that whole idea of again, yes, there are women and there are people who want their partner to be more ambitious. That exists. But it is also, there is a huge stereotype that all of us women want that. And that is bothersome to me.
That's so
'cause-
interesting.
yeah.
I think also, and this is just playing devil's advocate here. I'll state my case, and then we can move on to what Steve has next for us. But a wedding ring is also a deterrent. Maybe he's focusing on his career, you know what I mean? I don't know.
And he's not ready to
Sure.
get back out there, maybe?
I got a sure, fellas.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the only reason. Here's the only reason you'll get sure. I will admit something. Although I've told people this. This isn't. But I feel like this is more for women than for men. But I could be wrong. I have worn a ring on my ring finger when I have not been married, specifically as a deterrent, and usually when I'm on work travel.
Yeah,
I'm on work travel.
that
I'm in
makes
hotel.
sense.
I'm in strange hotels, and sometimes I will eat like at the hotel bar by myself, just because I don't want to sit in my room. And
Right.
yep, I have worn a ring in the past to deter, but I feel like that is. I don't know.
I
don't
feel-
know if it's. Yeah.
And I don't.
And I know other
this
women
is-
who've done the same thing too.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is so interesting. This is maybe we're not going to go right back to the film, but and fellas, help me out. And Adina, this is just this is a picture of culture and the difference between men and women here.
Sure.
Do we feel that women perhaps do that more than men in our culture?
Think so.
I would assume
Because
so.
I don't know. In my question is, do we feel that men actually look for that ring more, or are women more? Do they honor the ring on a man more than men honor the ring on another woman?
So I'll say something because even though it's actually been a long time since I was in university, but like back in those days, and I feel like, when I was actively dating as a guy, I never once had to worry about being hit on. Like that rarely happened. I maybe had one person come up to me and say, "Oh, you're really attractive," and that was it. Whereas I feel like Adina, you probably can answer this, but I just feel like women they get hit on a lot more, so they need to be a lot more like guarded about it.
Yeah.
And so they
Well,
need
and
to
the
do
thing
things
is-
like put the ring on,
Yeah. And
even
it's-
if they're
it's-
not married.
the problem is sometimes how do I say this? Men don't always know when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
that's
true.
the thing. And so the thing is if I'm not wearing a ring and I say I have a boyfriend, oh, where is he? Why aren't you? Why isn't he here with you? Whatever. But if you have a wedding ring on, it just kind of stops. Stops it a little like sooner. There is this one Facebook group I'm on. There's like this whole big discussion about this because a guy was lamenting. He's like, he's at a bar. A woman said that she has an AI boyfriend.
A what?
Yes. And my theory about this is that she completely made it up as a deterrent because
Oh my.
again, we've all heard if you say you have a boyfriend, where is he? Does he know you're here? Blah, blah, blah. But if you say you have an AI boyfriend, one, you come off as a little crazy and that's a deterrent. And two, then it answers the question of like, well, why is this person not here? Because it's not a person, wouldn't be here. It's like, I'm like, this is brilliant. I might use this myself in the future if I need to.
Why? Yeah, I just want to apologize for all the dumb men out there who say a dumb line like, "Well, where
know.
is he? Why isn't he here?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Like what?
Yep.
Kind
Yep.
of
Yeah.
Like I can't be out.
that.
I can't be out in the world by myself. Like, no, seriously, this is a real thing. I've had guys say stuff like that. I've had guys come up and put their arm around strangers, put their arm
Whoa.
around me.
I'm
You have no idea how
sorry.
creepy as F that is.
Yes.
So yes. So I have worn a ring when I've not been
I get it.
married. Now that's the thing is that said, I don't think that Jeff Goldblum's character is doing it or needs to do that.
Yes. All right, back to the film, folks.
Yeah, back to the film.
Back to the film. Well,
Sorry,
you
The
know,
wild world out there,
one
folks.
thing,
go ahead.
one thing I'll say that I think is another
Please,
great
Chris.
scene, or just always so much fun to watch, is specifically when it's New York for whatever reason. But when the ship is actually in the atmosphere and everybody's just doing their thing, they're all looking up at the ship. I just think that's just so cool. That's always like a fantasy. I've always thought that, man, that would be cool. Granted, I don't want us to all get destroyed, but I mean,
Because
like,
that's what
man,
happens next, buddy.
That's what happens next.
Yeah.
That would be something to look
Yeah,
up.
when
and, oh my
everybody's
gosh.
on the top of at that time the first interstate building, and they're all looking. We got the signs.
Yeah.
Yay! Take
Yeah,
me,
beam us
take me.
up.
It's like you're all going to die. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know people who, and this is going to take a turn here, but I've already done it once this episode.
We've
I'll do it
done a
again.
few turns already.
Go ahead.
Who,
It's your turn to take a turn.
When 9/11 happened, people made comparisons to Independence Day and how the buildings and the smoke came out into the other streets and people were running away. Some people made that kind of comparison with this film after 9/11, and as it being very realistic, at least in that sense. So,
And of course, the poster too is another iconic thing. Just the ship over the White House. Like, what more do you need to sell a movie than to see that poster and be like, okay, you know, I'm watching this.
Yeah, they've got the one that one on Wikipedia is it over the Empire State Building, as it's parked
yeah.
right there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of cool.
We could keep going on and on about this movie, individual little pieces, snippets, action, scenes, characters. You know what we need to do now?
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, but we got to get to
It's
the.
time for the Brian Donahue 5-star rating system. Patent pending. Not really. We're just kidding about that.
We'll go in alphabetical order. We'll start with Adina. What do you give this on the 5-star rating system?
This is a hard one.
It is.
I do
agree.
like it. I do like the movie. But again, and I've watched it, and if it were like, to come on in the background on TV, I wouldn't necessarily turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just shy of a 4.
Okay.
If we're allowed to do
Okay.
fractional components, and I want
We
to
are
say
allowed.
like just
that
shy
is
of a
the
4.
beauty
Like a
of-
3.5 or like a 3.8
somewhere between
or
3.5 and
something?
4, because I like it. It's enjoyable. Again, the characters are great. I think that's the best part. But
Yeah.
then all the hokey stuff that's
Yeah.
just kind of convenient to make the movie work, like to make the movie
Okay.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brian, you go for it next.
I'm with Adina. It's very hard because this has a lot going for it. It was a huge blockbuster for a reason, okay? And I think the characters in it, more so than the special effects, more so than the alien tropes and, all that stuff, make this film for me. And I'm with Adina. It's very enjoyable. I'll consider watching it if I ever see it on. I'm gonna go a little, because of how I rate other films typically. This film, and I usually take out, did I have a blast watching this film, or is this like a more serious rating of a film? So I'm gonna take the more serious rating. I'm gonna take my emotion out of it because I have a lot of fun watching this film. For me, this film is gonna be a 3.5 at the most.
Okay.
And it's a very generous, exciting, enthusiastic 3.5.
Okay. Chris, where do you stand?
So this one is also hard for me because I would say, you know what, for my official rating, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because I think for me it is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it, but if I'm putting on a more critical hat, again, this is not the official rating because my official rating is 5.5 or 5 out of
Noted.
5 rather.
Right, right.
But if I'm being critical of it, I think it's probably realistically more a 3.5 or maybe a little bit higher because it does have a lot of flaws. It is cheesy, but it has such great characters. So I think from that perspective, it's a 3.5. If you're looking at it critically, but for me personally, it's a 5 out of 5 just because I always have so much fun watching it. I never get tired of it. If it's on TV, I'm watching it. If I'm in
Cool.
the mood for it, which is at least multiple times a year, then I'm like, you know what, I'll just put it on. And it's on Disney Plus, so it's easy to find. So great experience. And then we didn't talk about the film score, like the musical score.
Yeah.
Which I
we
think
did-
is phenomenal. I love the theme, and I think it fits. It has a great combination of like the alien stuff, but it also has very much a presidential patriotic feel to the score.
Yep. Yep.
And then it just hypes you up. So great film all around, and I love it.
Without a doubt, I have to go with a solid. It's a 5-star, and for all the reasons, because I look forward to every single scene in this movie. I look forward to every line of dialogue. I look forward to how the movie was made, the effort that went into it, the excitement level, and it's a complete movie. It doesn't need to have a sequel. There was never really any sequel needed because there was a beginning, a middle,
So
and an
true.
end. And, it was done. We got the fireworks at the end of the movie. Super cool, and yet those great lines from that. So, yeah. And as far as the music goes, one of the things that I like to do when I'm doing yard work is I listen to soundtracks whenever, and it's just one thing on one of the services I listen to music on. And when Independence Day music comes up, big smile because the music is so good. So solid 5 for me as well, without it, and without restrictions. I'm sold on this movie completely.
So 2 out of 4 big sci-fi hosts give it a 5 out of 5.
That's okay.
That's cool. Hey guys, Steve, before you do your closing,
sure.
Because I don't want to interrupt your closing. You work really hard on these and do a good job.
I did good work with it.
I think one time when we do our closing, we should do the Victor Borga punctuation sounds. You know, the in the you know what I mean, for the commas and all that stuff. Anyways, all right.
You're not that old, Brian.
I'm a huge Victor Borga fan.
Oh my
Love
God.
his comedy.
He was great.
Look up Victor Borga. You'll cry laughing.
Oh my
He's got
gosh.
some of the most funniest gags on with classical piano. But I think this season we should schedule a top 5 sci-fi films of all time for each of us individually. So we have an episode where we go to our top 5 sci-fi films, which may or may not include, I assume it's going to include Star Trek for each of us, but all-time sci-fi films. And maybe we do a top 10 and we make it a 2-parter like we did Star Trek. In other
I think
films,
that's a good
but
idea.
that's something we need to get, because this discussion has made me very interested in what you guys would consider the all-time greatest.
One of our prior shows, we did our top 10 movies of all time.
Yep.
We did our top 5 worst films of all time.
I forgot
We've done
about
our
that
top Star Trek films of all time. So yes, I think we can definitely do our top 10 and break it into 2 sequences. That way, Adina, you don't have to sweat the bullets trying to pick your 10 movies or
5
even
honorable
your 1
mentions
movie.
after
We don't want you schwitzing at night going, oh my God, what am I thinking about this movie?
What does schwitzing mean? Never mind, I don't want
schwitzing is sweating.
We didn't even get to do David. We didn't get to say that.
Oh,
yet.
you didn't
That's
get Harvey Fierstein in the film. Oh, I got to call my lawyer. Forget my lawyer. I call my lawyer. All right. So that, my friends, we were. I'm looking at the wrong line on my script. Okay, here we go. I think we can all agree of the lasting impact of this movie on the audience and our thoughts of what makes a great movie, even if it's only a 3.5. There are films that come along that are lasting and ever loving, and to me, this film meets that level. My 5. There are many movies that I have seen over and over again. I know that applies to my comrades as well, especially after they voice their opinions that makes a movie one of their favorites. That would be the one they can watch over and over again. I'm talking to you, Adina, about WALL-E. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So that's what, this is what makes great movies great. We can see it, we can become a part of it in our lives, and some cases affect who we are. Some films can inspire us, some can frighten us, some can move us in special ways. And that is why we pay our money and we enter the movie theater and hope that we are about to see what is going to make us feel good when the lights come up again. And oh yes, always watch the credits. First, to recognize all the hard work that everyone did to allow the film you're watching to happen. And then maybe, just maybe, Ferris Bueller will come out afterwards and remind you it's time to go home. And to you, our listeners, thank you once again for inviting us into your lives and your ears. We hope that you will share this podcast, heck, all of our podcasts, with your friends and family. And be sure to listen to the next Big Sci-Fi Podcast. We might be talking about your favorite movie or TV show or book. And as always, I leave you with these parting words. Look to the sky. Live long and prosper.